What's going on, everybody? It's DIZ from the Gamersheep.com. That's Gamersheep.com, not the Gamersheep.com. Yeah, check it out. Doing this quick video for this collabo we're trying to do for our Game of the Years for 2010, and we broke it down. And I guess at least I think we're gonna break it down into 3 different categories. That's the best game in 2010, obviously. The most disappointing 2010, and I think, what was it? The most surprising of 2010. So I'll get to basically my game of the year for 2010 is a tie between Heavy Rain and Alan Wake. If anything, I think Heavy Rain just barely beats it, a tad bit, because like both games carry their strong points, and I call it a tie because it's that close. But if I really had to pick one, like at gunpoint for some odd reason, I don't know, some crazy fanboy, 2 crazy fanboys, I should say, then and I had to choose between the other, I'd have to say Heavy Rain barely beats out Alan Wake. But it's not clean cut, because that's just my personal opinion. I found a whole lot more negative things in Alan Wake than I did in Heavy Rain. But like with Heavy Rain, it's weird because it's a good story, but at the same time, it's not a story that I could have, or at least I had to find out what happens next, which is surprising because that's what everybody said about the game, is that you couldn't wait to find out what happens. At the same time, I'm playing chapter to chapter. It took me maybe over a course of 2 weeks to beat, just because I wanted to know what happened next, but I wasn't in a rush to find out. Like, I didn't care. It was a game. So, but I mean, the graphics were top notch. The interactive play, I guess you can say, quote unquote, that was cool. It just had a lot of positive things in it, so. But Alan Wake did the same thing, differently, but it did the same thing. It had a lot of good positives in it, and that's the game that kept me wanting to know what happens next. The presentation was awesome. It's like you're watching a TV show, like watching Lost. Leave you on a cliffhanger. You can't help but figure out, or at least you want to know what happens next. You're just itching to find out. No game has done that for me at all for a long time now. So I don't know. It's right. They're right by each other. But like I said, I'd have to pick one. I'd say Heavy Rain just barely beats it by that much. The most disappointing. That is weird because I got 2 most disappointing games for 2010, and you got to really see where I'm coming from. Like they're both good games and they both have good strong points, but at the same time, I think it's because I'm a fan of them or their prior games. I just expected so much more than what we got. So if it's any consolation, one does outdo the other and more disappointing. Like the most disappointing for me was Splinter Cell, because I think the way they went about the game was just, they try to apply it to the general gamer. They try to make it more of a shooter when it's really a stealthy kind of a game. Splinter Cell has always been about stealth, strictly stealth. And being a fan of that series for that reason, this game, I just had really high hopes for it, and at the end it just really sucked. It was a decent game. I played through it, enjoyed it, but I just think it was such a disappointment because I've been a fan of the series. I love Sam Fisher, not quite as much as Solid Snake, but he's right up there. But this game did like nothing to harbor the greatness of Sam Fisher. So it was just disappointing. So less disappointing, but still disappointing, is Gran Turismo 5. Because the amount of time that, I got over that, the delays, I don't care if it's official or not. I mean, we're hearing rumors, whatever. I don't give a damn. So the amount of time it took for it to come out, I just expected something mind-blowing. You know, Gran Turismo 1 on the PS1 was mind-blowing. Gran Turismo 2 was even more mind-blowing. Gran Turismo 3 was even more mind-blowing, you know. So right around between Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4, I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever, you know. Gran Turismo 5 is really disappointing to me because they stripped so much from the game. As much as they added to it, I would have rather they keep the love I had for Gran Turismo. But they didn't. You know, they stripped away car modifications, you know, from certain different brands. That's a big part of being a tuner, is knowing which parts from different manufacturers to get. Like, for an example, they had an HKS car in Gran Turismo, but they don't have HKS parts. So, you know, it's whatever. You gotta beef with it, email me or something. So, whatever. I don't know. It sucks to say. I mean, Gran Turismo 5 is a gorgeous game. It wasn't as gorgeous as I thought it would be. But it's a good racing game. It still does, you know, the racing part better than any game out there, you know, in my opinion. So, most surprising. The most surprising game would be Battlefield Bad Company 2. Because I bought the game when it came out on the Xbox. I played it. It was good. I like the Frostbite engine. You blow shit up. That's cool. I just couldn't get into it. I guess and it's, you know, it's not the game's fault. It's more like I didn't appreciate what it was until now, you know. And as you know, it's not really the game's fault. Like I said, it's more or less of the reason that I just didn't see what it was made for, you know. Oh, phone call. So, you know, I recently purchased it again, and now I see what that game was made for. It was made, you know, for teamwork. And it was surprising because I was so upset with it before. I wasn't upset. It's like, you know, I loaned it to somebody, then I didn't even care if I got it back or not. So I didn't care about the game. So playing it again, you know, the teamwork, the strategy, the camaraderie between gamers. You know, you got the medic, you got the engineer, you got the assault dude, got the sniper. It's just a game that's for any kind of shooter, you know, could want to play. You know, so. And no game has done that for me for a while since Team Fortress 2. You know, sounds familiar, right, guys? You got the engineer, you got the medic. You know, you want to just run and gun. Nice. So yeah, that's about it, really. So just a quick recap. Game of the year for 2010 is Alan Wake and Heavy Rain, right there up there with each other. Most disappointing is Gran Turismo 5 and Splinter Cell. Most surprising is Battlefield Bad Company 2. So if you guys are watching this video, cool. Thanks a lot. Check it out. Gamersheep.com. Get at me. That's Twitter, Gmail, Skype, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, all that. That's DIZLAOBOI 916. For a quick response, hit me up on that Twitter. DIZLAOBOI 916. Peace.